Look, mother, doesn't all this food please you?
What? What is this? Ham and butter, flour and sausage, eggs a dozen. Heavens, much this cost of fortune. Turnips, onions, and a pony almost half a pound of
Now be quick and set the table. I would eat a horse and stable. Here's to her. Look, mother, doesn't all this food please you?
What? What is this? Ham and butter, flour and sausage, eggs a dozen. Heavens, much this cost of fortune. Turnips, onions, and a pony almost half a pound of
Now be quick and set the table. I would eat a horse and stable. Here's to her. But wait, why where are the children? Hansel, Gretel, but where is Hans?
Where is Hans? Oh, slow! I sent them to gather food. They won't come back until they do.
But where could Hansel and Gretel have gone?
For all I know, at the Ilsenstein.
The Elsenstein! No, don't tell me that!
Now, husband, behave, put your broom away.
My children are lost in the gloomy wood, all alone without moon or stars.
Oh, heavens!
The whole the powers of hell. At midnight hour, when nobody knows the way to the witch's den, she goes up the chimney so high, on a broomstick they fly, over hill and vale, over tell and tale, through the midnight air, they gallop on tear. On a broomstick, hop, 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 the witches.
And the goblin witch.
And by day, they say, she stalks around with a crunching, crunching sound. And children long and tender sweet, she lures with magic gingerbread sweet. On evil bent, with foul intent, she lures the children born to things. In the oven red hot, she pops all her lot. She shuts the door down until they're not brown. In the oven, the gingerbread children.
And the gingerbread children.
Are served up for dinner.
For the old hag.
For the old hag.
Heaven help us, the children. What shall we do?
Hey, father, wait for me. We'll both go together and catch the witch.
Hello there, my mostly self-isolated friends. Welcome to The High Note, our monthly live stream featuring updates, interviews, and more from Opera Orlando. Whoa, hey, thank you. Big crowd today. Must be the new year. I'm your host, Gabriel Preisser, broadcasting live from the Opera Orlando offices. And of course, that wonderful music we were just listening to was none other than Engelbert Humperdinck's Hansel and Gretel. Such fun, lush music. Can't wait for us to put that production on later this month. Well, first and foremost, are you ready for it? Happy New Year! Oh yeah, here it comes. The New Year's coming. Just wait for it. It's coming. It's already here. Oh, we'll just listen to music. All right, dance break coming. Everybody dance. There you go. Dance along. I can see you dancing out there. You're looking good. Oh, come on. Sandra Dooley, come dance with me. There you go. I see you out there. Matt Brown's watching. Whitney Brees is watching. Happy New Year, Whitney. Cecilia's watching. Happy New Year, Cecilia. You dancing? Are you dancing? That's enough dancing. Let's skip to the end, thank goodness. Hallelujah, it's a new year and Gabe is done dancing. You're welcome. Now, we have had a busy holiday season here at the Opera, from presenting the first full operatic production indoors in the United States for a live audience just a couple weeks ago with our production of Die Fledermaus. There's a couple images we're going to pop up on the screen for you. And then getting our broadcast of Die Fledermaus up online as part of our new Encore series. Gosh, that was a lot to put together, and I hope you all have been able to enjoy that production from the safety of your own home. You can watch it online. And now we're getting ready to do all of that over again, a live performance and an online broadcast of Hansel and Gretel later this month. Sheesh, we got a lot going on. We're going to have to start sleeping at the office or something. What do you think? I'll put a bed right here. What? What's that? You didn't know that you could watch Die Fledermaus online? Well, it's a true story. You can watch Die Fledermaus online. It's a YouTube link. You can cast it on your big screen TV, watch it on your phone, whatever you prefer, and you can watch it as many times as you want. That's right, multiple views for only $25 per household. I mean, what a deal. From now until January 15th, so you better purchase your access to the online stream soon. Just to whet your appetites, as it were, here is a little highlight from the recording. I really think you'll like how this all came together. Check it out.
Champagne's delicious moments, la 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 la. Scattered all dramas, la 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 la. It taught me something priceless, that husbands are not viceless. A wife must be resourceful to make a man remorseful. We toast champagne, the essence of the essence, the king of effervescence, the king of effervescence.
A toast, a toast, a toast.
His Majesty we celebrate, celebrate, long and late, joyously together we toast champagne the great.
His Majesty we celebrate, celebrate, long and late, joyously together champagne. Champagne's delicious bubbles, la 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 la. Scattered all the troubles, la 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 la. It mellows politicians and betters work conditions. All diplomats and rulers should keep it in their coolers. We toast champagne, the essence of the essence, the king of effervescence, the king of effervescence. A toast, a toast, a toast. His Majesty we celebrate, celebrate, long and late, joyously together we toast champagne the great. His Majesty we celebrate, celebrate, long and late, joyously we drink the champagne.
Wowee, that makes me want to purchase access to see the encore yet again. Or better yet, I'm going to buy it for some of my friends. I know you will love it. I know they will love it. Give the gift of opera this new year. Share your love of opera, your passion for opera with your friends. Why not? Buy them access to see Die Fledermaus online. It's only available for a few more days. Well, don't just take my word for it. My onstage better half, Susie Hellman Spadafora, aka Rosalinda, she has a little something to say about it too.
On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me the Fledermaus for my TV. Oh, hello! Well, my name is Susie Hellman Spadafora, and I am here with my good buddy Winston in beautiful Weeki Wachee, Florida, to tell you about a fantastic way to ring in the new year. This year I received the most amazing holiday gift, and that was the gift of returning safely and happily to the stage with Opera Orlando's production of Die Fledermaus, where I played the role of Rosalinda. And you too can ring in the new year on a fantastic and vibrant and festive and safe way by going to www.operaorlando.org and purchasing a ticket to stream our production of Die Fledermaus right into your living room. It's a great way to ring in the new year. May we all make merry this coming year, and may we all make music together once again. Until then, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, and cheers!
So cute. And I thought Weeki Wachee was a made-up place with mermaids. I just checked the Google Maps, and sure enough, it is a real place. Well, Susie is absolutely divine as Rosalinda and pretty hysterical at times too. So you will definitely want to tune in for her performance. You also get access to a pre-show talk with Maestro Jorge Perotti and stage director Grammy Preisser. You get cast interviews with all of our wonderful stars, including Susie, all of our stars at Deflator Mouse, and a studio artist concert with highlights from Deflator Mouse that was recorded at Timucua Arts Foundation. All of that backstage content is included with your purchase of Deflator Mouse. Only $25. Again, can't beat that. You know, I'm most interested, though, in figuring out how this all came together with those technical elements of the backstage cameras, the chorus being pre-recorded, the live action shots, all of that. So we have a very special guest today, Martin Olarte, who is the content producer for Adrenaline Films, and he and his team took on this colossal project for us. Please help me welcome to the program, Martin. Hey, Martin, how are you?
Hey, Gabe, I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking your time, and we loved working with you and all of your team over at Adrenaline Films for Deflator Mouse. You guys having a good New Year so far?
Yeah, we're staying busy. It's a great new year. Glad to be here.
Staying safe. I appreciate you joining me
Absolutely.
from this social distance today as well, using technology to our advantage. Is that a Grammy Award I see back there? A Tony Award back there?
No, I wish. It's a Telly Award. Actually.
There you go. There you go. That's all the same. It's all the same. Well, was this the first opera that you and your team worked on, Martin?
Yeah, it was actually the first opera that we worked on. We had done some other work at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Applause Awards and a student production of Les Mis. And obviously, I've seen a lot of shows in my life, but this was the first opera that I had seen and worked on professionally. Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I hope we've converted you to an opera fan. We'll find out at the end of this interview, I guess. Well, what were some new discoveries that you had recording this, and obviously all the different things that we had to have come together for this production?
Yeah, well, you know, it was a very unique opera. It wasn't your standard opera production. You know, as you mentioned, we collaborated, we partnered to create a lot of the video elements for this opera because for many reasons, but the chorus, for example, couldn't be physically on stage. We couldn't have a lot of people on stage because of COVID. So, you know, pre-taping a lot of the chorus and then playing back a lot of the pre-recorded video elements that had to be in sync with some of the live performers and the live orchestra on stage was a very interesting and technical challenge, but it was super fun to figure it out with you, and I think it all came together pretty nicely in the end.
You're exactly right. As our audience just saw in that little clip from the encore production, the orchestra was actually on stage, not in the pit, and that was a COVID pivot, as we like to say, because we didn't want the orchestra to be crowded in the pit. So they were on stage. We had to mic the orchestra, mic the singers, the chorus we had pre-recorded. We have some great images of you guys doing the rehearsals with them ahead of time. That must have been quite the process. Then how do you sync all of the audio then? How did that part of it come together?
Yeah, like I said, it was a very interesting technical challenge. So what we did for the chorus is, you know, a month in advance of the show, our team went out to your rehearsal space and set up 4 camera stations next to each other, socially distant, of course, and then 4 individual chorus performers each stood in front of a camera, and they had previously recorded their singing, so they were lip syncing to a track at that time. It was still their voice, but it was pre-recorded because that's how you have to do it when you're doing video. And so we would do 4 people at a time, then we'd cycle through 4 more people until the entire chorus had filmed their individual angle, and then one of your editors took each of those individual shots and made a grid of all of the chorus members, like a stage right grid and a stage left grid, so that all of them could be featured.
Wow.
Then we also recorded the conductor, Jorge, conducting in the same tempo as he did for the pre-recorded audio. And we fed a video feed of that to the backstage or to on stage where the conductor was, so that he could see that for reference and he could conduct at the same tempo that he had done for the chorus pre-recording. And those three videos, the stage left, stage right chorus, and the conductor video, all had to fire at the same time in
Wow.
sync so that it could, play in sync, and the live performers on the stage and the live orchestra on stage could play back in the same time and tempo as what had been pre-recorded.
Well, and I know in speaking with Maestro Perotti, that was quite a learning curve for him to get used to watching a video of
I bet.
himself conduct and having to stay with himself. You'd think that'd be pretty easy, but, I can only imagine, especially with Fledermaus, there's a lot of rubato, a lot of give and take with some of those tempi, but he had to do it the same way every rehearsal, every performance. And then in addition to all that, you still had two cameras backstage, because we had some offstage singing, and then you also had one camera picking live action shots when, say, we had Rosalinda's Czardas aria. So we would see her on stage, but then also see her up on the big screen, or Orlovsky's aria. So how many cameras total did you guys have going on?
Yeah, great question. So the ones that were used in the actual live performing were, like you mentioned, the camera that would get the soloists so we could put them up on the projection screens, and the two cameras backstage for the backstage interaction. So there's three right there. And then in addition to that, we had three more. So we had two other manned cameras in the audience that could get different angles of the stage for the encore recording and live stream performance version of the show, as well as one locked off wide camera so that you could see the entire width of the stage if you ever wanted to cut to that wide angle to show a big scope shot. So 6 total cameras.
Wow. Well, and all those assets then get sent to the video editor, Christian, who did a great job piecing everything together to create this encore online production that everyone has access to. And it was almost like we were creating two productions at the same time, because we did have a live audience, right? We wanted them to enjoy what they were seeing on stage, but then at the same time, we're creating this online recording. So, I mean, how do you prepare for that? What are the challenges when you're trying to satisfy both productions simultaneously?
Yeah, I mean, it's wearing a lot of different hats. It's juggling a lot of different things. Thankfully, I had Michelle, your stage manager, to lead the whole thing and cue the whole thing, and it was a pleasure working with her. And but basically, I'm taking cues from Michelle to fire any of the pre-recorded elements, the chorus. And there were also dialogue lines for some of the dialogue scenes that were pre-recorded. So an actor on a video, we would play that back, and then an actor on the stage would interact and speak with that actor doing their dialogue on the screen. But anytime I wasn't firing a cue for the live show, I was then switching over to another headset to communicate with my team who were manning the cameras in the audience for the encore recording, and giving them direction as to what kind of angles they should be getting for that second encore performance.
Well, it definitely was our biggest collaboration with a production team like yourselves, with the film industry, as it were. How do you see the film industry influencing live theater? And I know obviously the pandemic has forced a lot of us to embrace live stream online content, but I'm sure the film industry has influenced theater over the past 20, 30 years, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you see things like Hamilton on Disney Plus. You see a professional recording of a theatrical production, and there's many other productions that have been taped or filmed over the years. But we're seeing definitely a boom in that with the pandemic. Our relationship with the Dr. Phillips Center began at the beginning of the pandemic. They had to shut down all live performances for the safety of the audience, and they reached out to us, and we collaborated on filming a student production of Les Mis because they had already been rehearsing for so many months, and the parents obviously were very excited about seeing the show, and then when they heard they couldn't, we had to come up with a solution, and that solution was to film the performance, and there's lots of different ways to do it, right? As we did with Die Fledermaus, we were lucky enough, now that we're further along in the pandemic and we figured out how to deal with it, we could have a socially distant audience with masks and whatnot. But early on, we weren't doing that yet, so we actually filmed that performance almost like a movie. We were able to redo scenes and capture it from different angles.
Yeah.
And so there's many different ways to do it, and it's really fun for us, to be able to film theatrical performances. We can be super creative, and like I said, it's kind of like making a movie sometimes, which is different than some of the work we get to typically do with our commercial and corporate clients. So it's been great to be able to work on that with you and Dr. Phillips.
Yeah, and I have to give kudos to Dr. Phillips Center and all they've done as a venue to make the audience feel safe. You're exactly right. We had the audience socially distanced, so they could feel like they're in their own little pod as they watch the performance. And even going through the lobby experience, it's just as safe as going to the grocery store, or if not safer than going to a restaurant, to go to the Dr. Phillips Center and participate in these shows. But at the same time, if you weren't able to be there in person, you have the online option as well. And I think that's how we've all had to pivot during this pandemic time of how can we continue to stay engaged with our audience. Some want the live performances, some want to stay home and continue to self-isolate. What have been some pivots or challenges, if you don't mind me asking, that you guys have had to deal with as a production company during COVID-19?
Yeah, I mean, well, there have been many. When the pandemic first hit, and the whole state shut down, it was obviously very concerning. Initially, only our post-production team was able to keep working. They could take their edit systems home and continue to work on projects from home. But there wasn't any, in-person production happening at the time because the state was shut down. It was quite concerning, but the first project we really did was a virtual field trip at a local nursery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so they do field trips for schools usually. One of the things they do is the life cycle of a butterfly, right? And they have a group of kids and they have a person there explaining how it works and showing their plants and vegetation, whatnot. And we partnered with them to create a virtual field trip. So we obviously we didn't have the students there, but the person who does the lesson was on camera, sort of like we are now, and we put it on Facebook Live and promoted it. And so parents were very happy to put their kids who were stuck at home in front of the TV and have this virtual experience, and they could even ask questions through the comments as if they were there.
Yeah.
And then from then, we slowly started gaining more interest in virtual events. And thankfully, we had the infrastructure in place to accommodate that. We do a lot of live work. We had been doing a lot of live production prior to the pandemic, so we had the infrastructure and the equipment ready. And a lot of clients are even able to remotely supervise a production. If a producer can't fly, if they're from out of state, we can send them, kind of like we're doing now, a feed of our production of our cameras via Zoom, and they can provide direction over Zoom. And so, even our corporate and convention event type production has really gone away, but those same clients still reach out to us, and we can do virtual events or highly produced Zoom meetings, like I like to call them. And then even in addition to that, we've been able to resume a lot of our regular production, our commercial production, and social media content by having strict COVID procedures in place. All of our crew is socially distant. They all wear masks at all times. If a person needs to be mic'd up, the mic is sanitized, and the person mic'ing them is wearing PPE. And it's we figured out how to do it, and we're very happy to be back to work.
Well, I'm happy you brought that up. I don't know if everyone knows all the precautions and steps that we have to take backstage. We talk a lot about the audience, making sure the audience is staying safe for these performances, but we had weekly testing, obviously mandatory mask requirements, keeping social distance, keeping people separated backstage. It's a lot, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it to keep our art forms alive, keep engaged with our patrons. And it was really wonderful to collaborate with you guys, with Dr. Phillips Center, and share information about those COVID policies and procedures. I think we learned a lot from each other through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Well, the big question out there, Martine, are you a new opera fan?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Die Fledermaus was such a great, fun performance, and obviously, like I said, a unique production to get to work on. And I was thankfully finally on the last performance, able to watch the show and enjoy it and take it in, even while I was doing my cues. Leading up to that, I was telling one of my camera guys that I couldn't even focus on the show because I had so many technical cues to worry about. I wanted to make sure it all went well. So I was, unless it was something I was doing, I was kind of not watching the stage. I was preparing for the next cue I had to do. Once I felt comfortable getting into it on the last night, I could finally kind of watch it and enjoy it. And I've watched, the encore production as well that we taped. And it's such a great show. It was super fun. It's funny, and your cast is so amazingly talented. The singers and the actors, and I'm a new opera fan, and I hope to either work with you in the future on one of your opera productions or be in the audience. Happy to do either.
Oh, that's wonderful, Martine. Well, we enjoyed working with you. We look forward to doing it again. Hansel and Gretel coming up next, then Carmen. Both of those will also be available as an encore option for our audiences. Really great to speak with you today, Martine. Big appreciation, big hug to everyone at Adrenaline Films. Happy New Year. You guys take care. Stay safe.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me, Gabe.
Let's hear it for Martine. They love you here. They love you here in Orlando. Take care, my friend. Well, it really was great to work with Martine and his team at Adrenaline Films. And we will be doing many of the same things again coming up for Hansel and Gretel. We have 4 live performances on January 29th through 31st at the Pew Theater at Dr. Phillips Center. And the same safety and COVID precautions remain in effect for the audience. So you'll have a row empty in front of you, a row empty behind you, 2 seats between you and the next party. So you have your own little pod. Everything is touchless, touch-free. Your tickets, they don't grab your purses anymore. I know I appreciate that. My wife does. They have social distance markings for the lines, all sorts of precautions in place. It really is a safe experience. And again, big thanks to Dr. Phillips Center for their help with that. And the sweetest part is we're partnering with Insomnia Cookies to have little treats for the kiddos, okay, for the adults too, after the show, individually wrapped cookies to take home with you. But if you're not able to make it in person, never fear. We will have the encore online broadcast of Hansel and Gretel for you to watch at home. And something that is especially unique and a very special opportunity with Hansel and Gretel is thanks to our friends at Winifred Johnson Clive Foundation, we will be sharing the recording of Hansel and Gretel with our local schools and community organizations such as Big Brothers Big Sisters, New Hope for Kids, and others. And if you know of any schools that are specifically would want to see Hansel and Gretel or any community groups, let us know. We were so happy to get funding from the Winifred Johnson Clive Foundation to be able to share this production, the video recording of this production with our community. Now, my favorite part of Hansel and Gretel has to be the witch. And I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek of these great images of Robin Rockline, who's going to be coming and doing the witch for us. There she is. Oh my gosh, how terrifying is that? Oh, and there she is with Gloria Palermo, who will be singing our Hansel. Now, I think we even have a close-up image so you can see how good this makeup is. Oh, yikes. That is scary. I think those are her actual nails. Robin, you might want to get those cleaned. But it's a great show. Hope you come to see our witch and Hansel and Gretel January 29th through 31st. Tickets start at only $39 for the live performances or $25 for online access. Buy your tickets now. We are almost sold out for some performances because of the limited seating, so you better act fast on those tickets. Also at Opera Orlando, we continue our Representation Matters series on January 17th with a special interview with Kiani Richardson, who was most recently seen as our Adele. And wasn't she stunning? Oh my gosh, she brought the house down with both of her arias. And she will be our Gretel coming up in Hansel and Gretel. So get to know her story as a budding opera star. Well, to send us home and to get us ready for Hansel and Gretel at the end of this month, nothing better than the ever sublime Evening Prayer, sung here by Sarah Purser and Jillian Morsini from our 2018 production of Hansel and Gretel. It is really going to be a treat for the entire family to bring this production back. And have I mentioned that tickets are on sale? I think, did I bring that up? There's seats available. I mentioned, I did, right? Well, thank you all so much for being with us. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Evening Prayer.
Night I go to sleep.
Thank you for joining us today, and join us again on February 5th for the next episode of The High Note to learn all about Opera Orlando's next production, Death of Ivan Ilyich. Stay safe, hang in there, and see you online at the Opera.
How the witch herself was caught, unaware in a snare, laid for you with cunning care.
See the lesson taught, how the witch herself was caught, unaware in a snare, laid for us with cunning care.
Cannot be ignored, virtue is its own reward. When past caring is our grief, upon